Okay, all right. So I would like to know more about you. So if you can please introduce yourself.
So my name is Kaiser. I am from Jharkhand.
Okay.
By profession, I am an English language trainer.
Hmm.
I have my own institute where
Okay.
I teach basic English as well as how to face irrational fears.
Hmm. Interesting. That's wonderful. So that's great that one trainer is meeting another one.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
great.
Actually, I am teaching as well as working on myself, man.
Hmm.
I'm
Okay.
working on my pronunciation skills. I have to develop
Pronunciation.
my
Okay.
pronunciation
Okay.
as I
Okay.
belong to Jharkhand.
Okay. All right. Great. Great to know that you still have enthusiasm to improve and learn. That's a wonderful thing.
Thank you very much.
All right.
So may I know
Any
something about you as well, ma'am?
Yes, I will be sharing about myself. But before that, I wanted to know, do you have any hobbies or interests?
I love reading books.
Okay, you love reading books. Okay, that's great. What kind of books do you like to read?
Motivational that
Okay.
teaches me something.
Interesting. Wonderful. That's great. So, which was the last book that you read and you thoroughly enjoyed reading it?
Atomic habit.
Okay. Wonderful. So, what did you like about this book, if you could tell me?
Yeah, it says that how can we
Hmm.
develop our habits.
Hmm.
Tiny habits will
Hmm.
make a huge difference in your life.
Okay.
So whatever we do in our life,
Hmm.
just because of our habits.
Hmm.
If you want
Okay.
to achieve, if you want to achieve anything in your life, first of
Hmm.
all, you need to change your habits.
Right. Correct. Absolutely. I agree with you. So, is it the habits or making those small changes which matter?
Yeah, habits matters. Small changes. Suppose then, if you do
Hmm.
not create a habit,
Hmm.
if you
Right.
do not get to know what you are
Hmm.
doing right or wrong,
Hmm.
which one is a right habit, if you are doing something wrong, that
Hmm.
belongs to your habit as well.
Correct. Absolutely. Yes. You're
Yeah,
right.
you have to
Hmm.
change wrong to right.
Hmm. Correct. Absolutely.
That
Yes.
belongs to your goal or not.
Correct. You're right.
For
Absolutely.
example, yeah,
Hmm.
for example, I want to
Hmm.
work on my pronunciation skill.
Hmm.
Day
Hmm.
in, day out, I am listening to
Hmm.
music in Hindi.
Hmm.
Will my
Correct.
pronunciation be improved in English? Not at all.
Hmm. Hmm. Correct. So you can we say that the approach to change also makes the difference. We
Yeah,
can say that,
absolutely.
right? Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So I'll add this word in the chat box. The approach that we pick also makes the difference, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, man.
great. Wonderful. So I'll introduce myself now. My name is Meghna Manjunath. I hail from city called Mysore, which is in Karnataka. I have been a virtual tutor for over 3 years and an offline educator for children for 2 years.
Wow, wonderful.
Yes. All right. So tell me, Mr. Kaiser, what would you like to have conversation about today?
I would like to talk about how can we develop ourselves, what
Hmm?
sort of things we need to work on.
Hmm.
Suppose that,
Okay.
yes, yeah,
Hmm.
I believe in
Hmm.
progress.
Hmm.
Let me narrate you a brief
Hmm.
story of mine. How did I
Yes,
start
please.
my journey?
In fact, I was going to ask you the same thing, that why don't you narrate your journey about how you decided to become a language trainer and how you've been helping out. So, any story, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, actually, ma'am, 5 years ago, I used to
Hmm.
be a welder.
Hmm.
I
Sorry, you
worked in
used to be a
welder,
welder.
welding.
Okay.
Yeah,
Welding. Yes. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Hmm.
I used to be a welder. I
Hmm.
worked in Saudi Arabia as well as
Hmm.
Dubai. So
Interesting. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, when I was in Dubai, that's
Hmm.
where I got to know importance of English language.
Hmm. Okay.
Two language were two languages were spoken there,
Hmm.
Arabic
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
English.
Hmm. Correct.
I knew none of them.
Hmm.
So it
Correct.
was quite difficult. It
Hmm.
was quite difficult for me to converse with them.
Hmm. Right.
So when
Okay.
I came back from there, I
Hmm.
decided to work on English language.
Hmm. Okay.
So when I got into an institute where
Hmm.
I was told to teach
Hmm.
English within 3 months.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, after completing the course, I was unable to speak even few
Hmm.
sentences in English language.
Hmm. Right. Okay.
So I started working on myself
Mm-hmm.
individually, separately,
Hmm.
personally.
Hmm.
I watched some of videos, read
Hmm.
so many books.
Hmm.
That's where I got to know, ma'am,
Hmm.
English is all about dedication,
Hmm.
motivation, hard
Correct.
work.
Correct.
No
Absolutely.
teacher, no
Hmm.
teacher can teach you English
Hmm.
unless you want.
Hmm. Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Hmm.
that's what I make my student understand
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
listen, if you really want to speak in English language,
Hmm.
don't
Hmm.
depend on me.
Hmm.
You have to work on yourself.
Hmm. So can
The
we say
harder the better.
working on ourselves additionally is required, right?
Yeah.
Apart from the guidance that they take from you, let me add this word. Apart from the guidance that they take from you, additionally, they must practice by themselves,
Yeah, absolutely. So
right?
that's what I make them
Hmm.
understand.
Hmm.
I can guide you, I can motivate you, but I cannot speak in place of you.
Correct. Absolutely. You're right. Hmm.
Yeah, if you want to speak, you have
Hmm.
to open your mouth.
Hmm.
In
Correct.
the beginning,
Yes.
yeah, in the
Hmm.
beginning, when you start speaking, what
Hmm.
happens? You
Hmm.
speak broken English. You
Hmm.
make so many silly mistakes.
Correct.
Ignore it.
Correct.
Ignore it. Keep
Hmm.
speaking.
Right.
The more you
Absolutely.
speak, the better
Hmm.
you will sound.
Correct.
That's what I
Yes.
do. While
Hmm.
speaking in English language, even though
Hmm.
I make some pronunciation mistake,
Hmm.
so I cannot stop my journey.
Hmm.
I have to keep moving.
Correct. Absolutely right. I
And that
completely
is
agree with you. Hmm.
that is how I can get
Hmm.
myself better.
Hmm. You're right. Yes.
So most of the people, what they do, ma'am, in the beginning, when people start making fun of them, start laughing
Hmm.
at them, they give
Hmm.
up for no reason.
Correct. Hmm. Yes.
They give up for no reason.
Hmm.
First of all, we need to understand that how did we learn our native language?
Hmm. Correct. You're right.
Did we
Absolutely.
make did we make a mistake while speaking our native language?
Hmm.
Obviously, yes, we
Hmm.
did,
Hmm.
but we did not stop our journey.
Correct. You're
Wrong,
right.
right? We kept
Hmm.
speaking.
Correct.
So
Yes.
in India, mostly what people do, they completely rely
Hmm.
on grammar.
Hmm. Correct. Okay.
In the beginning they think first I need to learn this, I will need to learn that. Okay, they
Hmm.
cram all grammar rules,
Hmm. Hmm.
but
Okay.
when they start speaking, they feel
Hmm.
that there is nothing in their brain.
Hmm. Correct.
they,
Yes.
they are not able to construct a right sentence.
Hmm. So here comes another word, application, right?
Application. Yeah.
Application. So I may understand the rules or I may understand the concepts, but what matters more than understanding the concepts is how do I apply? How do I apply them
Implement, we
on
can say
day to day?
implement as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Day to day basis
Yeah.
or for day to day conversations, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So when,
Yes.
yeah, ma'am. So when we started speaking in our native
Hmm.
language, we didn't
Hmm.
even know what is
Correct.
basic words, what is
Yes.
advanced word, what is
Absolutely.
basic sentence
Hmm.
structure.
Hmm.
We speak our language according to the need,
Absolutely. Yes.
what is
I
needed.
agree.
We
Hmm.
speak a language to express our ideas, feelings,
Correct.
thoughts,
Correct.
whether we are able to express
Hmm.
our thoughts effectively or not.
Correct. Absolutely. Yes. I agree with you. Maybe the only difference between our mother tongue language and English is that when we used to speak our mother tongue language, we always had parents as our backbone, right?
Yeah.
By backbone, what I mean is we constantly had their support and they would guide us whether what we said was right or wrong, right?
Yeah, they taught us the passive grammar, not active
Correct.
grammar.
Correct. Absolutely. Yes.
When
But
we made a mistake,
hmm,
they made us realize you are not
correct.
supposed to speak
They
like this,
corrected us
like
then
that.
and there. Correct.
Yeah,
You're right. But with English language, the main challenge is that we are the ones who learn, we are the ones who discover, and we are the ones who have to be our own support. Right?
yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
only difference. Right?
Actually,
Great.
we do not get environment as well. We do not get
Correct.
environment as well. Nobody speaks
Yes.
around us.
Yes. That's right. In
Yeah,
some
for
regions,
example, the place where
yes.
I belong to, English is not common.
Correct. Of course.
Nobody speaks in English language.
Hmm.
So what happens is that when I have to do something, I have to search by myself. I
Hmm.
have to speak by myself.
Correct. Yes. I agree
Okay,
with
I
you.
have to do self practice. But
Self
in case
practice
of
is the
our,
word.
yeah, in case of our native language, we
Hmm.
have the environment.
Correct. You're right.
People are speaking. People are speaking. We are listening. If
Hmm.
we do not want to listen,
Hmm.
even though we listen,
Hmm. Correct.
they are
Yes.
talking. They are talking
Hmm.
different on different topics.
Hmm. Can we say we have a lot of exposure to our mother tongue language?
Yeah,
Mother tongue
we can.
language in any region of our country, right? Because this is the
Yeah,
same
absolutely.
case in every other state, right? First comes the regional language, then comes Hindi, and then comes English, right? But English is more prevalent in metro cities, right? Or
Yes.
in cities which are developing, or we could consider any place which has many companies, right? Many MNCs or startups. There we can see a lot of prevalence of English language, right?
Yes.
Yes, great. So now I want to ask you, Mr. Kaiser, that now it's wonderful and it's so inspiring that you started your journey in a different profession or a different field, right? And then you discovered about yourself how you want to learn this language, and now you're teaching, right? As well as learning, right? So throughout this process, if you had to share any three learnings with me, what would it be? And how did you learn these lessons?
Could you repeat that again, ma'am,
I'll
please?
repeat the question. I'll repeat the question. So, throughout this journey of yours, you would have learned many lessons, right? So, I want you to share with me any three learnings that you learned during this process, and how did you learn them?
Okay. So my first learning when I had conversation with a guy from the USA.
Okay.
When I started speaking in front of him,
Hmm.
he started abusing me.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, he started abusing me. That's
Hmm.
where I got to know there is
Hmm.
something wrong in me.
Hmm. Okay.
So I got to know my sound pronunciation was terrible.
Hmm. Okay.
Every country has its own accent.
Correct.
Yeah. So I didn't give up, ma'am. I didn't give up. I answered him then and there that how many languages do you speak, brother?
Okay.
So he told me we speak only English. So I answered him in India, we speak multiple languages.
Correct.
Okay. As per your point of view, I am speaking broken English. Okay. So similarly, can you speak broken Hindi the way I speak? It is my first language. English is your first language. Hindi is my first language. I totally agree. I speak broken English. So similarly, can you speak broken English? So he didn't answer anything to me. He disconnected the call.
Okay.
That was my first learning.
So, what did the situation teach you?
Situation taught me that if you want to connect with people across the globe, so the way I was learning, that could not work.
Okay.
I had to I had to bring some changes in me.
You had to change
That
your
was
approach of learning, right?
yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
That was my first learning.
Okay.
Okay. Second learning, when I had conversation with a girl on video call.
Okay.
On
Right.
video call. So I was completely shaking.
Okay. You
Shaking.
were extremely
Uh,
nervous. Can we say that? You
yeah.
were extremely
Yeah.
nervous, right?
Extremely nervous. I was shaking. I was sweating. So I could not speak few sentences in front of her. So
Okay.
that's where I learned that only talking behind the camera will not work for me.
Right.
If I want to grow myself, I have to face people virtually as well as physically.
Correct. You're right. Face to face conversations, but it could be virtually or offline,
Yeah,
right?
face to face conversation should be there.
Correct.
Okay, that was my second learning.
Okay.
Okay, third learning was that when I was on the way to my home, suddenly I got a call from one of my friends.
Okay.
So I was walking through my home, so I suddenly got a call, but I was unable to speak. I
Okay.
was unable to I was unable to speak when I am in my comfort zone, like sitting, laying, I was able
Correct.
to speak. But while walking, I was unable to speak. That's where
Correct.
I got to know if I want to speak in each situation, I have to practice differently. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
It doesn't matter. I'm walking, I'm sleeping, I'm driving. In any situation, I would know how to speak in English language.
Correct.
The
Yes.
way we speak, the way we speak in our native language. In our native language, it doesn't matter in which situation we are.
Correct.
We speak it.
Okay.
These
We
are my
speak.
three.
We speak.
Yeah,
Not we speak it, we
absolutely.
speak.
Yeah. So these are my three learnings during my journey that I found.
Excellent. I'm so impressed that you're so clear with all that you're sharing. You're very crystal clear and
Thank
you
you.
put it across in a straightforward manner, which is a wonderful thing. That's great.
Actually, that happened to me. Actually, when I started my journey, I was completely beginner. I didn't even know few sentences in English language.
Correct. Yes, you mentioned that initially, right? When you started working abroad, specifically in UAE countries, you were not sure how to communicate, right? So you've come a long way, and that's a wonderful thing. that you are able to express your views and thoughts with a lot of confidence, and you're very clear about what you're sharing. It's a wonderful thing.
So,
Hmm.
sorry, ma'am.
No worries.
So,
Yes.
yeah, that's what I try to make all of my students
Hmm.
listen.
Hmm.
There is nothing that you cannot achieve.
Hmm.
Anything is achievable.
Hmm.
Everything have its
Hmm.
own process.
Correct. Hmm.
Anyhow, you have
Hmm.
to follow the process.
Hmm. Okay. Correct. But would we say it is on process? Would that be correct?
You know, everything
Hmm.
has its own process.
Own process.
OWN.
Own. Correct. Own versus on. A bit
Yeah.
tricky in terms of
Yeah.
pronunciation,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what I'm
Okay.
working on.
Yes. So no worries. That's all right. That's okay. Right? So own. So this way you can say own. Can you repeat after
On.
me? Own.
On.
Uh, on. Right now you're sounding
On.
as on. Own. Own.
On.
Correct.
ON.
Much
On.
better. OWN. Own. On. That will be shorter. On.
On. Yeah.
Correct. When you make it shorter, it'll be easier to understand whether you meant own or on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much for correcting me, ma'am.
That's absolutely all right. Secondly, I wanted to share two phrases with you. I want you to spot the error in it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
I'll
ma'am.
type the first one in the chat box. Please let me know if you're able to see it. Can you see the first one?
A lot of exposures.
Below that, if you can scroll down, can you see
Walking
that?
through home.
Yes, that's the phrase. Hmm.
Yeah.
Can you spot the error? What is the mistake with this phrase?
Walking through the home.
No. So
Then, ma'am.
generally, when we use through is when we get through the tunnel, we would say, right? Or the cat
Okay.
jumped through the window. So when you pass through something, that is when we use through. But I think what you meant was walking towards home,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
towards and through, very different in the usage.
So
Okay.
cannot we say, ma'am, that walking through home? Can we say or not?
No, we cannot say that. Walking through
Okay.
home means you're passing through your home, like literally. But that's not what you mean, right? What you
Yeah.
meant was that while you were walking on your way back to home,
Yeah.
that's what you meant.
Absolutely.
That is when
Yeah. Yeah.
you had that, right? So you cannot say through home. That would be misleading
Okay.
and
Okay.
incorrect,
Got it.
right? So that's one. The second one, can
On
you
my
see
way to home.
to the home, you had said. So this will be
Yeah.
on my way home. On my way home. Okay.
Home.
So home
Okay.
is a word which is an exception. So you
That
will
doesn't
say
take
I went.
preposition.
Yes, you're right. So we say I went home. I'm going home. Right? We never add preposition like you rightly guessed it.
Yes.
Right?
That's what I know. But while
Yes.
speaking, sometimes
Yes.
it happens.
Yes, that's absolutely all right. That's okay. That's fine. But I highly appreciate your enthusiasm to learn, and you took it up as a challenge and you have not given it up. That's a wonderful thing, I must say.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Great, great. So, as a form of feedback, this is what I wanted to tell you, that you have a lot of potential to become an advanced form of speaker. You're almost there because you have come a
Thank
long
you.
way. You shared about your journey, right? So, you have that grit and determination to excel, right? You have the grit and determination to excel, and you will, right? But in
Thank you,
terms
ma'am.
of pronunciation, yes, it can get misleading. There are some words, but this the pattern that I noticed in terms of your pronunciation, where it seems different, is the words which begin with the letter S, like study, speak,
Study,
speak,
speak,
right? So
speak.
these are start. Okay. So when you read it as it is, you're getting it right.
Okay,
But
yeah,
when you're
yeah,
speaking, you tend to
yes,
give I letter sound, as you would already know that, right?
yeah.
So, which is why I would suggest you to continue listening to S letter words. You can listen to the sound and try to break them when you're trying to pronounce.
Yeah, that's what I do, ma'am.
Yes. So you
I'm
can
working
continue
on it.
doing that. Yes.
Yes,
I'm sure you already are, because you're teaching and learning. So I'm sure whatever I would suggest you, you would have already started with it. So you can keep doing that. Right?
thank you, ma'am.
Uh, and that is it. It was very wonderful having this conversation with you and getting to know you.
Thank you. Same here, ma'am.
All right. All the very best. And I hope your
Thank you.
sessions go on well and you're able to achieve what you're thriving for.
Yeah,
All the best.
absolutely, ma'am. Thank you.